Hello, this is Masaki Niino from Hokkaido Medical Center, Sapporo, Japan. Here, I'd like to introduce the developing standard data of cognitive function using processing speed test in Japanese healthy volunteers. Cognitive dysfunction can be observed early in the disease course of MS and independently of physical disability. The PST, processing speed test, is a self-administered, iPad-based screening tool for cognitive dysfunction in patients with MS. In a US study, the PST was shown to have excellent test-retest reliability and was highly correlated to the common cognitive test SMT. The purpose of this study was to collect and assess the standard data of PST obtained from Japanese healthy volunteers in order to utilize it for cognitive function tests in Japanese patients with MS in the future. This is a single-arm cross-sectional study. The healthy volunteers aged from 20 to 65 years old participated. 254 Japanese participated. However, data of 12 participants were excluded because MMSE score of those participants were below 26. So the data of 242 participants were analyzed. The aim of this study is to get distribution of PST score. The secondary endpoint is to get distribution of PST scores stratified by educational status, age, and sex. Furthermore, from here, I would like to show results. Of these participants, the mean age was 44.1 years, 51.2% were male, and 60.7% were educated 13 years or more. The PST score was mean PST score was 61.8, and the PST score was almost normally distributed as shown in Figure 1. As shown in Figure 2a, mean PST scores were significantly higher in participants with 13 years or more of education compared to those with 12 years or less of education. Mean PST scores were not significantly different between males and females. As for the association between PST scores and age, as shown in Figure 2c, PST scores tend to decrease with age. Furthermore, regression analysis demonstrated that PST scores tend to decrease with age, as shown in Figure 3. Here, I'd like to show more detailed regression analysis data. A similar decreasing trend could be seen in PST scores with age between males and females, as shown in Figure 4a. As for educational status, PST scores decreased with age regardless of educational status, but in participants with 0 to 12 years of education, the slope of the regression line was more sharp compared to those with 13 years or more of education, as shown in Figure 4b. Here, I'd like to show the regression analysis in only participants with 13 years or more of education. As you can see in Figure 5, the slope of the regression line tends to be smaller in both males and females with 13 years or more of education. Figure 6 shows Z-score analysis, which demonstrated that the scores tend to be higher than theirs, regardless of age. So, this slide shows conclusions. In this study, we reported the PST scores in Japanese healthy volunteers and the stratified data with their age, educational background, and sex in order to utilize it for cognitive function tests in Japanese patients with MS. The PST score in Japanese healthy volunteers decreased significantly with age and was significantly higher in participants with higher educational background. The results of the study may contribute to the progress of medical care, such as early screening and the care of cognitive dysfunction in Japanese MS patients in the future. Thank you for your attention.